Hey guys, and welcome back to Mini UK. Today, as I promised, I'm making a maze, a Victorian maze. And I turned this into a speed build because, well, actually I was only planning on making the first part a speed build, which is the recreation of a Victorian era pattern to be turned into a maze. And I looked those up. I don't know if they are restricted to the Victorian era because it's mainly like the basic royal symbolism with lilies and stuff, and very floral, but very nice, and it's fitting the theme. Yeah, as I said, first I just wanted to do the path as a speed build because I knew the rest of it would just not be as challenging, but more of a tedious work. Lining everything with a ton of bushes. And while I build it, I realized I don't have that much to talk about. So the whole thing is a speed build. It's pretty straightforward. First I do the path, then I do the bushes and the landscaping and stuff. And this is the fourth version, my fourth try to do this maze. Because I was really prepared. I created my own path pattern that was very intricate, very lovely, looked very royal. You can look it up at my Patreon because I uploaded it there to share with the community, the small community we have there. And also, this might be the perfect timing to join because this coming Saturday, I'm doing my very first patrons only live stream, 6 p.m. my time, German time, which is the same time Evo has. So it's 2 hours before her stream. If she's doing a stream this weekend, I don't know, I hope so. But I wouldn't want to, interfere with that. So I'm doing it 2 hours early. So if you wanted to join, that would be awesome. And since I'm already talking about the Patreon, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to my existing patrons. I love you guys. You have my forever gratitude, as you know. So the pattern I prepared for the space turned out to be much too big. I couldn't realize it. It could be done, and it's a shame I couldn't do it because it's really nice. But the space was just too big. Or let's say the path is not as cooperative as it would need to be to realize this sketch in this little amount of space. So I could have done this on a square map, but not in this little nook we have here. I was considering doing an outtakes reel, but I would have had to bleep every other word. And what's the fun in that? This motherfucking bullshit, fucking hell, you, me, So the next day I went in with the plan to improvise. It was nice that I did the sketch and it helped me in the end because I was already very familiar with the shapes and the different flowery elements that exist in this type of pattern. So I was pretty comfortable just, laying down this big center lily you see surrounded by a circle that is going to become a habitat for right now. It is the Iguanodon, and I think that's okay to have them in there. I know that Colt suggested adding the Iguanodon with the Polacanthus, but I googled a little bit and found that there is a stegosaurid found in UK. I forgot its name. Didn't know that one, I think. It's not Hesper, that's somewhere else. That's in Greece, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I thought this would be a little bit nicer. And it's very similar to the Cantrosaurus, so I bred a few Cantrosaurus and put them with the Polacanthus and put the Iguanodon here. I wasn't feeling comfortable because I'm going to line this just with walls again. I wasn't feeling comfortable adding a carnivore in there, although the Iguanodon is already a little bit risky, but we're just pretending it's not going to step over the wall and it's not going to lunge at people or, I don't know, claw its way through the masses. It's a very docile animal in this world. So yeah, I wanted to have the big centerpiece that could contain animals, because I knew I wanted to add animals in there somehow. I wasn't quite sure how, and I wanted to have 3 elevated viewpoints. I have been looking into mazes a bit, and I've realized that in these really big, it's an art form, which I didn't know, but it really is. And there are people who do this for a living to build mazes. And the real cool mazes always have 1 or 2 spots where there is like a bigger clearing, and you either can go up to like a tower and have an overlook to find your way or to help you find your way, or they have like a bridge moment where you can go over the top of another path and try to navigate or identify your position and to help you find a way. So I knew in order to get people walk through there, I would have to have something with a view, in-game mechanic view. And I thought a viewing tower and maybe a zip line going from one end to the other would be kind of fun, because it gives you the view, the up-high view over the entire thing. But it also has a challenge because you don't see everything. It's not that you go in there and see the entirety of the path system. No, it leaves a few pieces and spots in a blind spot. So you still have to do a little bit of search, and the maze stuff is not entirely destroyed if you go up there and take a look around. And same with the zip line. It's just too fast to really get it all in, memorize it, and then just you knowing where to go. But it's a help for you to go up there and have an overview. So I thought that was pretty cool. But for people to go in there would also have to be animals. And also what is on the other side of the maze, which is not contained or part of this episode, because I thought this would make it just too long to stick to the maze. Don't overcomplicate it. Next episode is going to be what we're doing behind the maze on the other side. And I have ideas, and I got ideas from Rob, for example, who he has commented on the last video with the cottages, and he would love that I do a Stonehenge with a Megalosaurus type of exhibit. Colt said a maze is like that. There has to be a castle there. And I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was thinking of adding Myri behind there, because Myri is also from UK. And it is actually the dinosaur in this game that is the most efficient when it comes to, well, it's not expensive when you use it in challenge mode. And it has a really high rating, which is quite astonishing. It has a really high rating, and the ratio between cost and rating is the highest with the Myri. You can't get better with it. It's really efficient. So I recommend if you're playing challenge mode or anything, do breed Myris, because they are really your money's worth. That's it. So yeah, but because I put down sometime later, I put down an entry building and connected it to the maze, because I was sick of the little icon at the top that says that there are three buildings unconnected. And also I wanted to see people walking through there, but they don't. I guess those for Iguanodon are not enough to have the people show up there. So I'm really looking forward to doing something fancy behind there. I have been toying the idea of really adding a castle, but the space is a little too small, I think. And also, since we're in UK, and I just cannot let this opportunity pass, because I'm a major Potterhead. I have read the books, I think 10 times. I'm rereading them right now. Again, for probably the 11th time. There was a phase in my life where I could recite the entire movies because I have read and watched them read the books so often, and the dialogue is pretty much what is happening in the books, like a little cut down. But I knew the words by heart because I've watched and read it so many times. So I'm thinking I'm going to use the other little whatever you would, this peninsula situation we have here in this map, and do a Hogwarts. Not a real Hogwarts, of course. I'm going to do the Muggle version of Hogwarts, because what Muggles see when they look at Hogwarts is a very rundown ruins of an old castle that it has a fence around it and says, "Danger, do not enter." They see the big lake and the forest, but they don't see the castle. They just see the ruins. And so I thought it would be a fun idea to add that on a hill, on a little mountain, and have the black lake on top. We don't have a giant squid that could be bathing in there, which is a little sad, but we're going to find something else to add. Also, we need to add the thestrals, those dragon-like horses that you only see when you have seen death. I'm still not sure which dinosaur this could be. I'm honestly thinking the ugly one from Camp Cretaceous. What's its name? I forgot. I know. Scorpius Rex, yes. This ugly little thing that I never use, but this might be just perfect to be a thestral, even though it doesn't have wings and isn't walking on all fours. Yeah, so many plans, many ideas. I'm probably going to do the Stonehenge thing behind the maze, because there has to be something nice and impressive. It has to be worth your while going through there, So have I talked at all about the build? No, I haven't. Well, what's there to say? First of all, my Iguanodon started starving and dehydrating when I put them in their enclosure, although I provided everything they need, and then I could only save them by saving and reloading, and then all of a sudden this issue was gone. Thank God. And I did the pattern, I improvised, and then I just lined it all with bushes, and I introduced bits and pieces of old castle ruins. Maybe we can add a little bit of something back there with the Stonehenge thing, so it's not that off-putting. And the Biocene fountains, because of the metal, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of the steampunky style, and steampunk is very much inspired by Victorian Gothic shapes and styles, so I thought it was kind of fitting. And the reason why I added those and did not just line every single bit of the path with bushes, as you see, I did enough of bush lining stuff. But what I also thought was it would be pretty nice to give people just every now and then a little bit of a landmark to help them with orientation. The towers, the fountains, the wall pieces, they always look the same, but they are sometimes arranged in a different manner. So you would have to, you would still have to do some brain work and remember, did I pass this thing already or didn't I? Does it just look similar to what I have already passed or not? But, to just give you one or two little orientation points that you can always come back to either in your mind or literally come back to and start new. So I did that, and I think it worked out pretty fine. I tried hiding the Mata ugly stuff, and it worked out pretty well. Added a few seating sections here and there everywhere, just so, you can either sit down and relax a little bit and watch the animals, or, if you have been there for 6 hours already and your legs are tired, you just sit down and gather your thoughts. Just do some meditation so you you don't explode into a rage fit, whatever. Just give you some places to, sit down, relax, take a step back, think, breathe, and just try again. Oh. Yeah. And sometimes those seating sections give you like the opportunity to look over to another path and have people communicate, because usually you are separated by the bushes. And sometimes there are just spaces where you can talk to each other and say, hey, where are you coming from? Where does this lead? I'm here and there's this tower here and it leads to this viewpoint here and there's a zip line, so people could talk to each other in a few places. I thought this would be nice and kind of fun, so you don't constantly feel like cut off from the world. Sometimes there's this ray of hope and of sunlight shining through that you're not alone, that you can do this. Yeah, because I walked through there and it is pretty. It doesn't look, it does look a little confusing. And it is, when you're in there, and even though I built this thing, I get lost. Not terribly lost, I always find a way, and that is, I guess, partly because I planned this maze in a way that there are practically no dead ends. There are a few dead ends, but they're not the type of dead end that is really frustrating, where you have been walking for 2 kilometers and all of a sudden there's just this wall in front of you and you have to walk back all the 2 kilometers to take the right turn. It's either you don't have to walk very far to realize, okay, so this is the end. There's nothing to find here, or at least it's around the Iguanodons, Yeah. I don't want this maze to be a frustrating experience for people. I want them to have fun. So I thought I'd provide some things that could be fun. And now I really don't know what else to say. Oh, haven't talked about the Deinocheirus. This is probably way too late. I'm just sitting in front of my audio program and talking about this video. But I might as well tell you right now what happened is that this Deinocheirus just all of a sudden showed up in the middle of the ocean. And full disclosure, this already happened, not with the ocean, but way outside of the map. This already happened with the other Deinocheirus when I was building the cottages, but I had to edit that out. It was just too much. So I was confident that I could retrieve this Deinocheirus because I had already done it. It works, even if they're that far off. But I had to turn off hunger and thirst first, so this thing wouldn't die, because the first Deinocheirus, the other one, Deinocheirus 2, died because it didn't get back in time. And it did get back in time, but then it panicked and then it died because it didn't have time to eat or drink anymore. And I covered it up. I bred another one with the exact same skin and called it Deinocheirus 2 so that no one would notice and I didn't have to be reminded of my dead Deinocheirus. But I don't know, something's up with these Deinocheiruses. Isn't it fascinating that every park bit has its own challenges? This one, even though it's not big, so it can't be because of the game being overwhelmed so far. This is not a huge detailed park, and still the game is acting up and having the Deinocheiruses all of a sudden beam to somewhere like 100 miles beyond the map border. I don't know. It's just fascinating. I don't know how this happens. Other parks, you have dinosaurs phasing through fences. This has not happened here yet. Who knows? Then you have dinosaurs freezing. There's always something else happening in these parks. Every park has its own quirks. I don't know, it's almost charming if it wasn't this annoying when it happens. Anyhow, yeah. Guys, I don't think I have anything else to say. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. I hope you like this. I hope this inspires you to do something similar. If you have ideas for me what to add to the area behind this maze, tell me, what do you think about the Stonehenge idea? I think it's pretty cute. Not pretty cute, it's a cool idea. I have been toying of doing that myself. And then Rob came up with the suggestion. And yeah, I'm just not quite sure if behind the maze is the right position for it. Maybe somewhere else. I don't know yet. So yeah, please leave them in the comments if you have ideas. If you have ideas how I could have done this better, they are also very much welcome. Like Colt commented on the last video, he would have put the hotels on an elevation so they could look into the aviary, and he's so right. That's so true. I didn't think of that. I think it turned out pretty nice without the elevation, but it could have been better if they were on a little bit of a mount, a raised, a slope, whatever. So yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. It's time for this voiceover to end and for you to enjoy the rest of the video. There is an outtakes reel at the end of the video, so you might want to stay tuned until then. I just want to remind you that please consider subscribing and please consider supporting me on Patreon, because I'm doing a live stream this Saturday for my patrons only. And it would be so fun if we could be more than 4 people. And I thank all my patrons that I have so far. You are the best people in the world. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope you stay safe and sound and inspired. Until next time. Bye-bye. guys, and welcome back to Mini Noobler. Oh my god, my brain is... This looks like inappropriate content for my younger audience. Because it Wait a second, is the left ball too small? Well, can't have symmetrical balls here. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, fuck this system. There we go. Now everything looks nice and neat. No more need for plastic surgery. Well, let's just... let's just embrace the ugliness. It's just like my personal motto. Have the courage to be ugly. And I have mastered this. So I might as well with my path work. That's just how it looks now. It's okay. I'm going to die.